counties in North Carolina. Locations including Robbins and Glendon and High Falls. Flying debris would be a threat with this. These other storms, these other severe thunderstorms, which are clustered close in behind, would have the threat of, again, that hail we were talking about, or a potential of damaging winds as well. I'm going to be really interested to continue to watch. We don't have any cameras in the area of the tornado warning. But we do have cameras in the area of the severe thunderstorm warning that is in the Raleigh area, courtesy of WeatherStem. Here's a live look again now. NC State, you can see the clouds there on the horizon. Camera now bouncing a little bit more than I think it was a minute ago. Here's the campus screen, or one of them. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning for Raleigh. Includes Apex and Wake Forest, just outside of Chapel Hill and Durham. You're not in this right now. Severe thunderstorm warning there includes... Wow, it is so tiny on my screen. I don't know if it's tiny on your screen as well, too. But it's Chatham, Durham, Franklin, Granville, and Wake counties until 5:30. Let's go single panel here for just a moment. Widen out, kind of give you the lay of the land. These warnings right now... Again, stretch just coming out of the Durham area into Raleigh. We have a couple of cells that are producing severe thunderstorm warnings and one tornado warning, which is just out ahead of the main line. The main line is catching up. You can see, though, all of this lightning here. I think we're just south of the Interstate 85 corridor there. I can again tell you with my own eyes and ears, we got a thunderstorm rolling into Matthews. We want to keep an eye close on this. This is our tornado-warned storm. I would go ahead right now, if you're in Sanford or Broadway, Cameron right there on the edge, go ahead and move to your tornado safe place. It's not the world's clearest radar signature. But if you're a fan of the Carolina Weather Group, then you know we've talked about this before. The radar gets a little tricky out here, and it gets a little bit better. The storm's going to get a little bit better as it gets closer to this Raleigh radar, which is located near Clanton. Right now, we're slicing the atmosphere at 3,500 feet. It was closer to 5,000 or 6,000 feet when we first started tracking this particular storm. But essentially what happens is as storms cross the I-77 corridor, and they kind of move through this whole area up on in here. The radar is not as strong as we would like it to be, just due to the actual proximity and locations of the physical radar devices. They're just a little too far away. We're going to wait to see if the... I just realized you all at home are still looking at the Raleigh Skycam. My apologies. So that area that I was describing with the less than superb radar coverage is right up on in here. Across that I-77 corridor in the Charlotte area. Kind of south of Greensboro, out towards Fayetteville. Laura on Facebook watching live with us. Thank you, Laura. Saying, I saw earlier there was crazy hailstorm in the Piedmont area. Anything in Carnersville that you know of? Yeah, let's start with the broad strokes there. Definitely lots of hail reports that came on through there, Laura. And I'll tell you a little bit more about Carnersville in just a second. But let's see if I can just go ahead and pop up on the screen for folks. I think we have a preset here in our system, if I'm not mistaken, that will show us where some of these storm reports were. And I'd love to be able to share those with you all, too, so you can see. Because now these verified storm reports come in from the Weather Service on a little bit of a delay. Because the first and primary thing that the Weather Service does is they issue warnings. And then they will take storm reports after that and try to relay them back out to the rest of us. Here they are on your screen right now. So these are lagging behind that main line, right? Because that main line is out here now between Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh, and Fayetteville. and you can see all the purple things on your screen. Those are all the reports of hail. And it's not that the Weather Service is necessarily slow in getting them turned around, but sometimes they will take a moment to issue a warning before issuing what they call an LSR, local storm report, so that they can keep up with where the potential for damaging winds or tornadoes are in real time. But they will use these storm reports. These are super critical in helping them confirm what radar is seeing, because just like we were talking about, that radar is slicing the atmosphere above the ground. It's the storm reports from you at home on the ground that help them confirm what's seeing. Now, closest to Carnersville, which, if I'm not mistaken, is outside the Winston-Salem area, we did get some pea-size hail. You can see a verified storm report there. There could be some other reports that you can send to the National Weather Service using hashtag NCWX on Twitter. You can see we had even more as you make your way south here near Welcome in Thomasville. More reports of hail, some reports of tree damage or wind damage. And I would expect to see more storm reports coming on in as we continue to track the active storms right now. But of course, you can only get reports if people submit them. And we're in a little bit, a bit more of a sparsely densely populated area than we were looking at just a moment ago on the screen. Now, we are coming up about 5 minutes to top of the hour, 5 minutes left on this tornado warning. The National Weather Service will have to decide whether they're going to renew it or not here in the next few minutes. But again, wow, look at these winds. Look at these winds coming into Raleigh. Let's go ahead and this is going to be radar estimates, but right side of your screen, this really bright green, 45 miles an hour. Radar detected. And again, Raleigh, you do have the benefit of being really close to this radar site. So, that's 500 feet or so above the ground. And I wouldn't be surprised if we switch back over to those Raleigh cameras. Wow, take a look at this picture, folks. Take a look at this picture on your screen right now. A severe thunderstorm rolling on into the triangle here. Severe thunderstorms warnings are issued, by the way, for storms capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds or 1-inch size hail, which is about the size of a quarter. This is out ahead of the storm. The storm hasn't even made it to this location yet. Dark skies looming over the campus here. I'm trying to remember what other cameras we might have to show you out this way. But nonetheless, very impressive shot right now over NC State and Raleigh from our friends at WeatherStem. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. Laura saying, thank you so much. I have loved ones who live in that area working out of state. Well, thank you very much, Laura, for tuning into this coverage, for trusting us to relay that information to you. Hopefully your loved ones are doing just great there outside that Winston-Salem area. I don't want to go too far from this very impressive picture right now in Raleigh. I think we're going to work on getting that into a double box for you all, because I want to make sure we keep radar on the screen too, because if you are in the path of this tornado warning for Lee and Moore counties, it goes for the next few minutes. Robbins, you're all clear now. You're in the clear, Robbins. We're going to wait to find out what the Weather Service decides to do with this. They could opt to renew a tornado warning. They could opt to turn it into a severe thunderstorm warning. They could opt to let it go altogether. I suppose we will all find out together momentarily. This is the voice of James Brierton coming to you right now in Charlotte from Carolina Weather Group. You're watching live severe weather coverage on the Carolina Weather Net. This is our non-stop streaming feed for all things Carolina weather. And when we're not on the air with live coverage like we are right now, then you will also find a streaming loop with the best of the Carolina Weather Group, our weekly podcast show. All right, so again, as we come up to the 5 o'clock hour, we're watching right now a single tornado warning outlined there in red. Waiting to find out what the National Weather Service is going to do. But again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. We have several of them, but it is the one in the Raleigh area that really stands out. Check this out from Chapel Hill now. Here's the live look at UNC Chapel Hill, courtesy of WeatherStem. You can see the clouds off there in the distance. Now, Chapel Hill, you're on the back end of this. You're out of the warning right now. It's your friends at Raleigh. This is the same camera we looked at not 2 minutes ago. The rain there coming down. You can even see on the other side of the campus it's not even raining yet. It's raining at the football stadium. It's not raining where this camera is located. It is very dark. Coming down there real hard. Of course, rain itself doesn't issue the severe thunderstorm warning. The severe thunderstorm warning is because this storm has a threat of producing damaging winds, as we showed you on radar. Also the possibility of hail. It's the wind threat primarily right now in Raleigh that we're most worried about. But the visibility, if you were trying to travel right now, is next to none. You can see just how isolated this is, because across campus, it looks ominous, but it's not pouring in the same way. Here comes the rain now, catching up with this camera. Now, this severe thunderstorm warning in Raleigh, it's going to go until 5:30. And let's tell you about some of these locations, including Raleigh, but also moving out of the Durham, the Wake Forest area. Again, we're watching this storm for the potential of damaging winds in the Triangle area. You can certainly see that rain coming down real good there at the stadium, but look at this picture. Still a little sun on the left. Dark cloud rolling in the middle. All of that lacking of visibility off to the right-hand side, that's a rain shaft, folks. That's the actual rain moving in. We get that a lot here in the Carolinas, where the visibility with these storms is next to none. We are thankful this storm does not have a tornado threat associated with it. If it did, it's that rain shaft that would keep you from seeing it. Which is why so often we tell you that trying to chase storms in the Carolinas is close to impossible if you're trying to do it to see things, because rain shafts will block that. Again, that is not a tornadic threat with this storm, and we're very grateful for that, but this is a severe thunderstorm warning with the possibility of damaging winds moving through right now, NC State and greater Raleigh area. And we're going to stick with the storm. We're going to keep our eyes on this because we've got the visibility. The National Weather Service has opted to cancel that tornado warning we were tracking earlier. So we don't have to worry about that for the short term. There are no tornado warnings now in the Carolinas, and that's certainly good news. Thank our friends at WeatherStem for this look at the severe thunderstorm warning in Raleigh. Goes until 5:30 for the threat of 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. It's on your screen right now. If I were to just use radar exclusively, I can tell you the winds right now associated with this storm are rated to be estimated at about 45 miles an hour or so. But again, Weather Service is concerned about the potential for upwards of 60 miles an hour. And anything above 30, folks, you're going to obviously notice it, as you can probably tell from these pictures. We use a tool here called National Weather Service Chat. It allows us to interface with the Weather Service, other broadcast operations, as well as storm spotters and emergency management. Continuing to get reports of hail on the backside of this storm. And again, those lag a little bit, right? So, in Randolph County, hail the size of ping pong balls, 1.5 inches, occurred about 3 o'clock. Still seeing reports of hail back across the greater Charlotte area, the metro area, Conover, Catawba County. You got some hail earlier. Right now, looking at these live pictures of this severe thunderstorm moving across the Raleigh area. Let's go out to radar real fast, show you what's what. We'll do a single panel on radar. You can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rather large severe thunderstorm warnings right now. The most densely populated area would be Raleigh, where we have those cameras located at NC State via WeatherStem. But nonetheless, we do have other warnings right now for the possibility of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts or quarter-size hail. It's hail the size of an inch. This one I'm looking at right now on your screen is for Montgomery and Stanley counties. We also have this one for Alamance, Randolph, and Chatham counties. And this guy down here, yeah, you might remember him. Now for Moore and Harnett and Lee counties. This is the same storm that did prompt that tornado warning earlier. It doesn't have the tornado warning associated with it right now. It is a severe thunderstorm warning, which, yeah, sure, is not a tornadic threat at the moment. But again, wind is wind. So whether that wind is in a column, in a funnel, circulating tightly, or associated more broadly with damaging thunderstorm, nonetheless, it's something we want to keep an eye on. Let me show this to you again, because I thought we had the radar on the screen, but we didn't. We had the cameras. Moore, Harnett, and Lee. This goes until 5:45. A severe thunderstorm warning out here in yellow. This is the storm that previously was the tornado warning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. Still take that very seriously, folks. Don't want to be outside when this happens. We have another severe thunderstorm warning here for Alamance, Randolph, and Chatham counties. And also, down here, it's going to be Stanley County. This is going to be Montgomery County. Severe thunderstorm warning. So we have those three guys, and then our fourth. Our fourth was up in Raleigh that we were watching there via WeatherStem at NC State. This goes until 5:30. Now, this guy's getting pretty close to the radar site. He's between 10 and 15 miles away from the radar site. And, proximity to radar is good. You get a nice clear picture, but too close to the radar, and I have a hard time seeing you. It's like when somebody stands way too close to you. Right side of your screen is velocity, tracking the winds inside that storm here. About 45, 50 miles an hour and about 500 feet above the ground. So again, could be stronger at the surface, and that's where your storm reports would come in. The Weather Service would love to hear from you, and it is safe for you to do so. You can tweet them, #NCWX. Here at the Carolina Weather Group, we'll be keeping an eye out for those reports as well, too. If you're just joining us now, I'm James Brierton in Charlotte. It's March the 27th, 2021, 5:06 p.m. is the time. We have no more tornado warnings at this time. We came on the air about half an hour ago for a tornado warning that was in portions of Lee County and Moore County. It is no longer considered to be a tornado warning. Instead, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. We still have the threat for some damaging winds there. Now, we've been watching these storms from the perspective of the Raleigh radar. Again, we don't have a radar in the northern, central part of the Carolinas. We got this guy, if you see him on my screen, called the terminal Doppler radar. You can see his range is fairly limited. But I just wanted to show you here, back behind this, we don't have any other storms right now to contend with. We do have some thunderstorms, just run-of-the-mill thunderstorms across upstate South Carolina. If you are in South Carolina, Columbia's quiet right now, out towards the coast, back into North Carolina. You do have some of your sea breeze thunderstorms and the like. But the severe weather threat right now is right smack over central North Carolina. And, we want to remind you that stay weather aware. Severe thunderstorm warnings are nothing to kid around about. They have the potential for damaging wind conditions, but also we are still watching for the possibility of additional tornado warnings today. We can't rule them out. The Storm Prediction Center has much of North Carolina in yellow there for a slight risk of seeing severe weather. That's a Tier 2 out of 5. That marginal, MRGL, abbreviated on your screen, dark green, encompasses much of the rest of the Carolinas, Tier 1 out of 5. You can see the strongest threats, or the highest threats of seeing severe weather, again, over the Mid-South today. They could use a real break after 2 deadly tornado outbreaks 2 weeks in a row. But nonetheless, we don't want to let our guard down. We've got about a 2% chance of seeing a tornado here, according to the Storm Protection Center outlook. You can see our wind threat in yellow at about 15%. And we can't forget about hail either. Hail now coming on your screen. Very similar to wind. But do stay weather aware throughout the weekend. Here's a look at tomorrow's Storm Prediction Center outlook. Again, much of the Carolinas in a slight risk, Tier 2 out of 5, but you can see an enhanced risk. That's the orange over portions of Virginia, right along there with the North Carolina border, where 85 meets 95. That's a Tier 3 out of 5 if you're in the orange enhanced risk for tomorrow. Yellow slight risk is 2 out of 5. Tomorrow's threat, very similar to today, especially timing-wise. A 2 to 5% chance of seeing a tornado. Again, over this same, more or less, central portion of North Carolina. But South Carolina, don't let your guard down. Here's a look at the, which one is this? This is the wind threat for tomorrow. Damaging winds, 15% over much of North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, and the Sandhills, closer to 30% in that enhanced bullseye area near Richmond. And for tomorrow, hail is not out of the question either. So 2 active days that we are keeping a very close eye on here at the Carolina Weather Group. And that is why we've made our Carolina Weather Net free and open to the public this weekend. It is our new nonstop streaming platform that allows you to watch live